Welcome to Java Smart. My name is Jayapratap Singh. In the last tutorial, we learned how to use data source to get the connection and then how to do the operation on the database. So instead of using simple jdbc, we can use data source and we can configure all the fields like driver class name, URL, password, username. These information we can configure in one XML file, and then using that XML file we can perform the operation on our database anywhere required in our class, or any other any of the class. If we required to perform database operation, we can use the data source to get the connection and to perform the operation. But instead of using data source, we can use one more thing, that is jdbc template. It is a class which lets us to perform operation on the database. It provides so many methods. Using those methods you can perform any kind of SQL operation on your database, DML or DDL kind of operation. So let's get started. I'll explain one by one how it works, how to configure it. So first of all, we need to create the bean of jdbc template. So I need to write a bean. ID will be, I will give a name as jdbc, I'm sorry, jdbc template, and the class will be class. Since it is a Spring, this class inside the Spring frameworks, we need to mention org.spring framework dot jdbc dot core dot jdbc template. And inside this template I need to set data source. So this is this one property inside this jdbc template, that is data source. To set the data source, so we need to give the reference of data source which I have created in this, that is data source, driver manager data source. So I need to give the reference here, and that's it. And now I can pass this jdbc template reference inside my bean, custom bean, that is spring jdbc demo. So inside the property field I'll pass jdbc template to reference. I'll give as jdbc template. Copy it from here. And that's it, it's done. So now I have created jdbc template. I have passed the reference of data source inside jdbc template, and I have passed the jdbc reference inside my demo bean, that is spring jdbc demo. I have passed jdbc template. Now inside my class I have to do some changes. So for dependency injection I need to write private jdbc template and then I have to write getter and setter for this, since it's a property. Okay, so I have generated getter and setter. Now yeah, so now I can perform any operation I want to do on my database using this jdbc template without getting connection, because I have provided the data source inside jdbc template, so it will get the connection automatically, and then it will connect me to the database, and then it will let me do operations. So how I can do that, I'll show you. Okay, one more thing, I'll make it as static so that I can use it inside my main method. Static, and now I'll use jdbc template. So there are methods, as you can see here inside this set, after property set, batch update, execute query, get data source. There are so many methods. I can get the data source and then I can get the connection from the data source. That thing also I can do, but that will be a extra, that will be a extra load or overhead. So I don't want to do that. What I'll do, I will execute the query. So I'll write the execute, and inside that I'll mention whatever I want to write. Create table demo2, demo1, demo1, and it will have fields like name field of varchar 12 and age field, that will be number, and set the 12. That's it. Now just a print statement. Operation performed successfully. Okay, so now I will try to run this. Before that, I want to tell you one more thing. For this to run, for jdbc template to run, we need extra jar file. Apart from all these jar files, I need spring dao jar as well. So I have already included, but if you have not included, you have to include in your build path, then only it will work, otherwise it will show some error. So now we will try to run and we'll see what happens. It's just a minute, I'll try to run it. In the last run it's already created, so this time it will not. Okay, I'll change the name d2. Now I'll run this. So see, it has successfully created the table using this. So this is the advantage of using jdbc template. You don't have to write statement, prepared statement, or the result set. All those things you don't have to write. You just configure your jdbc template inside your configuration file. You just have to write bean for jdbc template, and then inside that bean you have to pass the data source reference, and then that jdbc template reference you have to pass inside your bean, whichever bean you are creating. Okay, so after setting the jdbc template inside your bean, you can use that jdbc template and you can perform the operation. So there are so many methods inside jdbc template, like execute query, execute query for object, query for list, query for int, query for long. There are so many methods. Those methods you can use and perform the operations, whatever operations like dml operation, ddl operation you want to perform, you can perform this way.